You might have heard that live shopping is exploding. And I have to tell you, I have been on Whatnot for a couple of weeks now, and I see why it is. Now, Whatnot is my sponsor, and they are the reason I got on the platform and checked it out. I'm glad they did. They made it easy for me. I'm going to make it easy for you. I love it. Whatnot is where you get great products without paying full price. It's that simple. I'm hooked on their live shows, too. You got to see them. They're so much fun. And I see why Whatnot has climbed to the top of the App Store. And listen, if you're selling online, or maybe you have a storefront and you're hoping people will find your listing or maybe walk in your store, Whatnot flips that, because on Whatnot, you go live and you sell directly to people in real time. And I may admit, although you didn't hear from me, I may have picked up a couple of power tools or so in the past couple of days. I'm just saying. Whatnot, it's the largest dedicated live shopping platform with beauty, collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies, and anyone can sell. In fact, people who sell on Whatnot sell 10 times as much as any other major marketplace. That's because you're not just listing products, you're building real connections with buyers. So whether you're shopping or you're selling, download the Whatnot app today and get free shipping on your first order. Just search WHATNOT, Whatnot, in the App Store and start scoring amazing deals. So I was whining to my wife the other day, said, I need new glasses. And she said, well, get some. I couldn't tighten them anymore. They were scratched. You know the thing, right? But I didn't want to go through the process because you have to make the appointment. You have to spend weeks to get them done. And you got to pay a fortune, right? That's real. But I did. I spent $500 on frames and glasses, and that was cheap. And then I ordered a pair from my sponsor, Zenni Optical, for $70. Zenni is an online eyewear shop, prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, starting at under $30. You go to Zenni.com, you pick a frame, upload your prescription, and they ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And by the way, if you are saying, do I really need new glasses, or do I have to put up with one pair to do everything I need to do for the next 2 years? No, you can get what you want starting at under $30. And if you've never bought glasses online, don't worry about it. I haven't either. Zenni has a virtual try-on so you can see exactly how the frame looks before you commit to buying them, with no salesman looking at you saying, those look good, but these expensive ones would look better. No, you don't get that. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my Zenni glasses and tell you more about them. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now's the time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out, so don't sit on it. That's ZENNI.com/podcast. Promo code podcast15. How are you? Well, come on in here. I'm so happy to have you here today. This is going to be an awesome show today. In fact, this will likely be the very best podcast you've ever listened to. Okay, it's kind of a lie. It's not really a lie. Actually, I just don't know, because when you think about it, really, I haven't even done the podcast, so who knows what it's going to be.
I need a boost. I need a daily boost. I need a boost. I need a daily boost.
What up, mofos? What? It's a daily boost. I shouldn't admit that. I'm Scott Smith. Probably shouldn't admit that either, but what up, mofos? Listen, I was on a call just a few minutes ago, a Face Your Passion coaching call. I love this Inner Circle group. These guys are fantastic. Had a very deep call today, and I was kind of talking about, we'll talk about that today a little bit, because I've kind of changed my style a bit for you. But I said, I've always just really kind of wanted to start a podcast, say, what up, mofos? And they said, I dare you. You wouldn't do it. Come on, you're not going to do that. I did it. There you go. Anyway, if it's your first time, glad to have you here today. Thanks for stopping by. The Daily Boost is all about inspiring you in some way. I'm not looking to inspire you completely. I'm not just looking to motivate you, and I'm not going to try to push you, not going to try to pull you. What I am going to try to do, though, is really make you think about a ton of crap. And you're going to, wait a second, I haven't thought about it that way before. I'm going to challenge everything you've ever run into in personal growth. Why am I going to do that? Because I've done this for a very long time, and I've just noticed what's coming out in the books and what people are talking about is it just doesn't work. It just doesn't. And so I'm going to challenge all that stuff and push it into what I know does work, and not only for myself, but for you. So I've taken a different approach to my podcast, and you're hearing it evolve here. I'm just kind of unleashing who I am. But here's what I'm doing. See, it used to go like this. I'd sit down and say, let me make a podcast. I'd walk into the podcast studio. I said, let's write one down. I'm going to make a podcast for the people. I'm going to motivate, going to inspire, going to do dish, and dish. And I didn't always script it out, but I would just, I kind of had a seatbelt on me, right? And I grew up in the 70s. We didn't wear seatbelts in the 70s. So I still kind of miss those days. But I realized I had a seatbelt on in the podcast. So I said, well, we're not going to do that anymore. So here's what I do now. I get off a coaching call. And if I'm pumped up and inspired, and I always am about 10 times a week, I thought, let's go do a podcast right now. Let's jump in and do it. And let's bring it to the peoples. I'll see what happens. It's not for everybody, for damn sure, but it's for a lot of people because it's different than anything you heard before. And as we go deep here, we're going to go really deep. I'll try not to do it at 20 minutes yesterday because Adam gave me some grief. Adam said, what the hell? How much coffee? I thought it was coffee. He said, how much cough medicine did you take yesterday? He literally had to pull off the road to listen to the podcast yesterday. It was fun. But if it's 20 minutes, it was kind of like Robin Williams meets Jim Rohn kind of thing. It's a fun podcast. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. Man, but today, then we were kind of, the whole call was about people kind of observing their lives instead of interacting with them. Are you doing that? Are you observing? I think most people are. Most people walking through life like they don't have any idea what they're doing. Playing safe, generic answers, all that kind of stuff, holding back because of the algorithm. I've done that. My podcast here, I've done such a long time now. The algorithm is it's like a freaking noose around my neck. I'm done. The room you're in. Oh, I've been in lots of bad rooms, a spouse, a church, all that kind of stuff. What the boss said. Are you done playing it safe? Ready to have some fun? Kind of pull back and get the version of yourself. That's what the call was about, and it was really kind of cool. So I'm going to run through some of the stuff we talked about today, some of the highlights. No scripting here, just a couple bullet points to remember what I was doing here. But I got to tell you what, I'm a little pissed off. Just a little bit, but really happy. Outside the walls. I got a client. His name is Dave. And Dave came to me and said, Scott, help me make a podcast called Outside the Walls. I said, great, Dave, we'll do it. Outside the Walls. So last night I'm sitting on my sofa listening to my podcast thinking, damn, this guy's good. And then the podcast ends and I'm like, not paying attention. It's kind of in the background. And then this other new podcast comes on and says, Outside the Walls. And this dude was pretty good. I was like, I should listen to him. And then I thought, man, he's competition. What the hell's he doing? I taught him how to do this. Why? And then I sat back. I got a big smile on my face. I said, man, he's good. I'm glad he's doing. If you haven't heard it, Outside the Walls, Dave Gass is doing this podcast. He's brand new at it. He's only got like 6 of them. He's not a pro. He came from nowhere. And man, he's doing some great stuff. Now, he's not nearly as good as I am. Very few people are. That's not true. There's so many people better than I am. I'm just different. But he's very classic in what he does. And it's so cool to take somebody he retired. He was a retired guy. And when he retired, I said, so you retired early? He said, yeah, I did. I retired early. I said, great. So that means you have a lot of money saved up, right? He said, yeah, fantastic. I said, great. I'll be happy to take somebody off your hands and put it in my retirement. I'm just telling the truth. That's what I did. But bottom line is, yes, he paid me. But man, so cool. So if you're looking for a podcast to motivate, it's about 6 minutes long. He does a good job. Outside the Walls. He has videos too. He's got some really good videos on YouTube. Outside the Walls. So the question today was, what were you put on this planet to do? And the answer uniformly across it, I don't know. So what were you put on this planet to do? I don't know. Then, we get the predictable. And by the way, I always expect the predictable because that's what predictable is, right? If you don't expect predictable, something's wrong. But the predictable answer, whenever I ask somebody, and these are people that are in this group, and they're kind of awesome, smart people. They're highly capable. They're in the right room. That's what AI would say. And they really are. But when I ask a question, what were you put on the planet to do? Here's what you get. Most people say leave a positive footprint. I need to make an impact. I want to give back. Now, yeah, I'm mocking that a little bit. Yes, I am. Because as a highly qualified coach who really gets results out of people, I understand that's just a boring generic answer. It's all save, it's borrowed. It's what you've been learned to say. It's what you've been taught to say. It has nothing to do with what you really are put on this planet for. It's just what you've been doing. That's all. You know it. I know it. Think about it. Are you giving those borrowed answers? Positive impact? Leave a good footprint? Give back? All safe. You've been trained to do that. Endlessly. Honestly, it gets me kind of upset. Listen, I live in that world as well. It's very hard to do it because I think that's kind of a world that we have to kind of, how can we do this? We were trained to do certain things. Listen, we had a noose put around our neck since we were born. It's called society. Do it this way or else you don't get to participate, I guess. And I think sometimes when you say, hey, I'm doing all the good stuff, all the right stuff. I do want to be positive. I do want to have a good impact. What the hell does it mean though? If you want to have an impact, what is that? How are you going to have it? Are you using your best gifts to do that? Are you being yourself?
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
It was so interesting. I was talking to Kim. I'll say her name out loud because, it's not like it's a common name. It's like, you know Kim, right? Yeah, you know Kim? I'll just say her name Kim because I think sometimes we anonymize these things, but I'm thinking how can you anonymize the freaking word Kim? How can you do that? You can't do it. Anyway, we're talking to her, and she said that she is what was her word? She stopped quoting her resume. This happens a lot. So if you're a high performance person making a lot of money in a career and you're surrounded by all those people in the bar at a conference talking negative and you're wondering, how did I get here? And you had the boss that came in and said, I'm going to be God. I'm going to fix everything. You think, yeah, the last God didn't work either. In fact, most companies have like 5 gods who came in a row, all think they're God. Nothing changed. Ugh, that just got deep, didn't it? Anyway, what happens is people start doing that stuff. Then they start quoting their resume. It's like if you ask them a question, what do you put on this planet to do? They read their CV as if it's on LinkedIn. And I'm like, blah, 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 boring, boring, boring. Come on, man. You can do better than that. But then she said the word conviction. And that got really real because I heard that word come out. And I heard, and if I do anything in my life, it's catching patterns, it's catching things like that. It's just saying, okay, I heard the word conviction. And what that means is she's convicted. When things happen, she's called out and she's called herself out and she's decided to go after something. It's a very powerful place to be. And I've seen her do this in real time. Not the Kim that I know. I'm talking to the other Kim. It's anonymized. It's Kim. It's one of the Kims. It's like the movie Devil Wears Prada. It's one of the Emilys, right? It's one of the Kims. But then she said another word. I want you to write this word down today. This is cool. I'm going to give this to you today. I don't have to. I could make you join my group. I could charge you money, but I'm not. I'm going to put it out there today because I'm that confident most of you will not use it. So why not? We'll give it to the few that will. She said, when I activate, it's a choice, not circumstance. When I activate that ability, that conviction I have in things, that's my choice. Things change. You don't wait to feel activated. You decide to be. And I keyed on the word right away because it was a word that she even said it. And the minute I said it, at the end of our call, one of the things that we do is I say, what's your conclusion today? If you ever have done my daily awareness diary, soon I'll have that on my website. Right now, it's not there. You can find it. I mean, if you search for it on my new website, you'll find it buried in like the podcast notes, but it'll be soon in a prominent place for you. Anyway, we asked for a conclusion. And so the conclusion, it's like, well, this makes sense to me, okay? I don't understand how you can answer 9 or 10 questions for me, the same question every single day, and not have a conclusion for how your life went. Like if you have a work day, if you came home from work today and your wife said, honey, what's your conclusion for what happened today? What would you say? Would you just say, oh, it sucked, or it was good, I need a beer first and I'll tell you. Or would you really, really understand what it is? And when I said, Kim, what's your conclusion for today? She said, activation. I need to say it more. That's a coaching call, man. That's a moment in time. That's a lift. So yeah, borrow the word if you want to. She likes to be a convicted person. She likes to be in on what she's doing. She likes to go for it, but only when she activates it. And she knows in her heart now she should activate it more. And this is not the Kim that on my call. I'm not giving away anything. No, this is, it's the Kims, right? Go have fun with it, by the way. I talked about Dave earlier in the day. The call, like 10 minutes ago. And, with the Outside the Walls, the podcast. But we had an issue. I got on a call with him last week and I said, Dave, what the hell's going on? He's like emailing me all weekend long. He's bugging me. Nobody gets to bug me. I set my schedule up. If you have my perfect week planner at perfectweekplanner.com, here's the problem with it. If you do your perfect week planner at perfectweekplanner.com, you will begin to get your schedule like me. You will understand how I think. And the first thing you will do is do exactly what I do. And then you're going to try to step on my schedule because you have your schedule. Remember who taught you, okay? You don't get to take my stuff and then ruin my schedule. It's not going to happen. What kind of integrity would I have? Why would you even try to do what I teach you to do if when you did it, I buckled? No, I'm not going to buckle. Don't even try. But Dave was pushing me around. So I said, what the hell's going on? And then he's doing this podcast editing. He's brand new at this thing. He's a corporate career. He did something. I don't know, sales, something like that. Never really asked him. Didn't really matter. I go, Scott, how could you not know what the guy did for like 45 years? It doesn't matter. We're going forward. I know it's a flaw. I don't go backwards. I go forward. That's all I do. If you want to talk about me about backwards, I'll give you 30 seconds and then we're done. Anyway, he's really not having a good time editing because editing's kind of hard. If you've ever done audio editing, it's not easy. I've done it 40 years. I'm 40. It's pretty easy, second nature for me. It was in radio, the whole thing. But if you haven't done it, it's hard to do. And so I said, what are you doing working so hard, man? You're retired. I said, just go have fun with it. Don't complete a product today. Don't worry about how it's going to sound. Just go have fun with it. Go play. Just literally open up the editing software. Just play. We came back with a better version really fast. The lesson that nobody wants to hear, just pressure doesn't improve your output, guys. It strangles it. It does. So the harder you press, the worse it gets, right? So just go have a little fun. I do it all the time. You'll see me often, every single day. I'll say, I got to do this, feeling pressure to get something done. I don't really know how to do it. I don't even know if I can do it, but I'll go play with it for a while. And if I can do it, I'll do it. And if not, I'll hire somebody to do it. But I'm going to have fun with it. You should too. Live in the and not the or. Chip said that today. Live in the and not the or. But watch out with the and, by the way. It's a good line, Chip. I pushed back a little bit on this, and for good reason, by the way. I had a great discussion. The and only works if you've got the identity to hold both things. Most people use and to avoid choosing. Have fun with this one. When you get out there and do this, live in the and, not the or. But watch the and, because the or is the excuse. Why could this and this? That's kind of hard to do. It's like a computer algorithm. When you put and, it makes things much more difficult, right? When it's an or, got a choice, man. I could eat the salad or the French fries. In my case, follow my advice, eat both. Because that's defendable to your wife. I'm just saying it is. It totally is. If I sit down, my wife rolls her eyes when I have chicken wings and beer and French fries. She'll roll her eyes. What are you doing? I said, I do it like twice a year. That doesn't work. So I order a salad. I said, but I had a salad, and suddenly it's okay. The eyes still roll. Effect neutralized. See, you can do it, but you got to pay attention to it. Okay. I'm not going to do a 20-minute podcast today. I'm not going to do that to you today. Although I better hurry. Observer. Okay. Versus interaction. This is kind of cool. This is kind of fun. Talking about vision boards not working. They do kind of work. Manifesting doesn't work. I don't believe in that stuff. See, I don't believe when you observe things in life, your life changes. I don't believe, okay, I observed this. Now I'm going to will this in. I'm going to manifest this. A little woo-woo. I love some limited woo-woo interruption. I do. Quantum physics comes into play here. But here's the thing. If you want to do some woo-woo and you want to think, I can observe and my life is going to be manifested in terms of what these, it feels really good. Don't get me wrong. It feels good. But have you ever noticed on the other side of feeling good, usually some freaking action took place. Okay. It's the interaction. It's not observing what's going on with life and saying, if I observe this and I observe this and it's going to change. No, it's observing me today, but it's not observing me. It's actually taking some of what I do and interacting with your life and actually putting it into play. When you do that, you get the action you want. You get the results you want. So just, have a good time with everything you're doing, but just understand you can't sit around and just watch it. You can't read another motivational book. You can't listen to another motivational podcast. You can't sit around and observe how fast I talk and wonder why I talk so fast and why you can't understand what I say. And I said, well, it's because you're listening at 1.5. I said, no, I'm not. I said, you're listening at real time? I said, yeah, you're talking at 2.5. Well, it's a problem. So you observe that, but you could take some action, interact with it. You could slow the play down. Do they allow you to do that? I actually don't think podcasts let you do that. Okay, I'm off. Your circle is your ceiling. Jim Rohn at one time said that, the people you hang out with are who you're going to become. The 5 people you average hang out with are what you'll become. I'm not sure Jim said that. I think he made it famous. It probably came from other places, but it's true. Find a new room. Find a new place. If you're hanging out and you're going, man, this is not working for me, get the hell out of there. And I can tell you this, the more you work on yourself, the more you'll find negative people who have not worked on themselves. The more you elevate your thinking and your conversation, the more you get on a call like I had today and really push people out of their comfort zone a little bit, the more you realize you can't hang out with people who don't push you out of your comfort zone anymore. They're boring. And it's okay. They're just not where you are yet. So whoever you're hanging around is your ceiling and where you're going. You need to raise your ceiling. I push people I work with. I do. I'm going to push them and they're either going to grow or they're going to get tired of me and they're going to quit. If they quit, it's not on me. I want you to grow. Nicest renegade I ever met. Yeah. I'm kind of that way. Look like the boy next door, but then I get a wild side of me too. Somebody said, well, Scott, don't be a dick. I said, I feel bad about saying that word, but it's true. Adam said that. Have some fun. Don't be a dick. Just, that's it. Have some fun. Live your life like that. Have some fun. Do what you want to do, but don't be mean about it. Be nice about it. Enjoy yourself. And if you ruffle some feathers along the way, I just did on this show. I probably did yesterday as well. Don't care. Actually, I do care. But at the end of the day, I have no way to control how you think or how you feel. None. Zero. No control of it. I'm not worried about it. I was put on this planet to do it the way I do it. And I'm going to do it my way. And I hope it works for you. one last thought I want to put here as well. I'm still kind of defending myself, aren't I? I are, because I've done this 20 years, over 5,000 episodes. All right, here, let's do a podcast and see if I can be number one on iTunes. Who cares? Oh, man, this podcast, we're not going to go 20 minutes, I promise. So we talk about gratitude. A lot of guys say this. Guys do it a lot. They said, everybody ends. I want to be grateful. If I could just be grateful, it all starts with grateful. If you have gratitude, and I do not disagree with you, you should be grateful for everything. But dudettes, it's just the front door. It's not the room. You got to go a step higher. There's a place way beyond grateful. If you're just saying, I'm so grateful for everything going on around me today, I would contest that you probably are not. Because I found people that are grateful tend to just walk and talk in that. And they've figured out that it is just the front door. They unlock the door, they came in, they realized, oh, wait a second. I'm kind of living in a gift here. I am. And when you get beyond that first, I need to be, then you become. We'll talk more about that maybe, okay? All right, I'm out. Yeah, I think I'm done. I think I ran out. I did 18 minutes. I'll try to get it back to 15 tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of having some fun with this. You can always send a note to Scott at dailyboostpodcast.com or at Hey Scott on Instagram and let me know your thoughts.